In this video, I'm going to share my favourite art supplies of 2024. These are the ones I found myself reaching for week after week, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I love them so much. Let's start with the Peg & Awl Sendak Mini Artist Roll. It's made from a wax canvas with a leather strap, and you can fit a surprising amount of art supplies inside this. I bought it back in the summer and I'm using it as a permanent ready-to-go travel art kit. I have a video all about that, so I'll link it in the description below. I have a palette of 16 coloured pencils in the front of my Sendak, with fine liner ink pens, a ruler and water brushes behind. I recently added another couple of coloured pencils in there too. In the back pocket I keep a small art toolkit pocket palette with 11 watercolour and gouache colours. Because I put a lot of thought into this kit, I find that all of the colours work perfectly together, and because I keep them in the artist roll permanently, it's really easy to pick them up and create art without any of the procrastination that can sometimes happen if I'm choosing colours from scratch. My warm-toned watercolour palette of 37 colours from various brands is the palette I've been reaching for all year. There's just something about this combination of earthy, soft and muted tones that inspires me. Please feel free to pause the video here and take a screenshot of the swatch card if you wish, but I'll leave a full list of the brands and colours in the description below. To save space on the swatch card, I have actually written all of the brands in code, but I'll put the full list down below. You'll notice that there are a couple of cooler blues and greys in there too. These complement the warm tones of the other colours, and pale blues and greys are colours I often use in my work. I used this palette to create this recent painting, October Days, and the smaller paintings I'm going to feature here too. I often use it in conjunction with my tubes of gouache, so the paintings are often, but not always, a combination of both. My favourite watercolour brushes continue to be the Betty Hayways and ProArt Proline brushes, but a newcomer this year to my favourites has been the Princeton Aqua Elite. I discovered these through my friend Crixus and I love them. All of these brushes stand up well to repeated use and keep their shape for a long time. I love this spotty ceramic palette from Muddy Ceramic Art on Etsy. I use it for mixing watercolour and gouache and love the large mixing well in the centre. It's a good size without being too big, and so it doesn't take up too much space on the desk. Plus, it's really pretty too. The other palettes I use a lot are my stackable ceramic palettes from Jackson's. I bought 2 sets of these a couple of years or so ago, and they've been so useful. I use them for watercolour, gouache, acrylic gouache and even acrylic paint, and they always clean up perfectly. The fact that they're stackable means that they're perfect if you don't have much space on your desk too. This tiny palette in a tin was a gift from Rose Wildsmith in the summer. I filled the 2 layers with gouache, and this palette of 12 colours is great if you love muted and earthy colours like me. The swatch chart hangs on the wall of my studio, so please take a screenshot if you'd like to recreate this palette yourself. I recently used this palette for the second Cozy Creative Sketchbook session I filmed for YouTube last month. As I very rarely accept sponsorships for my channel, I'm going to take the opportunity to advertise my own art. I'm going to quickly tell you that I have lots of new products in my shop that I'm pretty excited about, so please take a look after the video. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm going to share my Deep Light watercolour palette with you now. As one of their ambassadors, I have a few of their palettes, but this large one contains most of my Deep Light paints. Their handmade colours are inspired by the nature and landscape of Latvia, where they're based, and they're the perfect fit for the subjects I love to paint. They have many moody, granulating, textured colours that re-wet easily and create a special atmosphere in my paintings. I've also curated 2 palettes for them, Mellow Days and Cozy Nights and Whatever the Weather, and these include 2 colours they've created for me, Natasha's Grey and Starry Night. I'll leave a link to their shop in the description with a special discount code for my followers, so that if you fancy treating yourself you can get 10% off any order. The Art Toolkit palettes are something else I've been using all year. I filled mine with gouache and I often use them during Zoom sessions with my Patreon members, as well as on location. They're so quick and easy to just grab and start painting with. They have a large mixing area in the lid and are so thin and light that they're perfect for travel. The 2 sizes here are the Folio and Pocket palettes. The Folio is the larger of the 2. I have pith sketchbooks in a variety of sizes and I love them for several reasons. Firstly, they have a special binding, which means they lay completely flat, and secondly, the paper is gorgeous. It's an ivory cream colour and it's thick enough to handle mixed media, gouache, watercolour and even acrylic gouache. I've been using them for Zoom sessions and when filming videos for both YouTube and Patreon. I treated myself to this hand-bound watercolour sketchbook by an Etsy seller called Print Urchin a few months ago, but I've only just plucked up the courage to use it. It has gorgeous thick Archer's watercolour paper, and at first I was a bit intimidated, but I've since started it and I love working on it. It is just such a luxurious sketchbook. So this is one that I would recommend if you're feeling like a bit of a splurge and you just want a really special and beautiful sketchbook. The watercolour paper I've used the most this year is Archer's Aquarelle. I've been enjoying painting on their blocks of watercolour paper that are glued all the way around, holding the paper flat while you work and preventing buckling. I have a large pad of 640 GSM or £300 cold press paper and a smaller pad of 300 GSM or £140 paper. The 2 pencils I've used the most this year are the Blackwing 602 pencil and the Coeco Sport 0.7mm mechanical pencil. It came in this gorgeous mint colour, which is almost the colour of my car, so I couldn't resist. And I absolutely love working with a mechanical pencil. And this is not something I've really used that much in the past, but it's really good for a lighter, finer line when I'm drawing. The Blackwing is great for a bolder line, and often when I'm labelling swatches in a video, people will ask me what pencil I'm using. It's one of my most asked questions, and it's usually this one, a Blackwing. So they're good for different things and I love them both. And finally, one of my most loved and most used art supplies is the coloured pencil. So I was thinking about which ones to choose for this video and I just had to share all of them with you. So this is my coloured pencil collection. As you can see, I store them in several different glass and ceramic pots. They're stored by colour rather than by brand, with the exception of the Derwent drawing pencils, which will always be one of my favourite ranges of pencil. They only have 24 colours in the range, but they're just so perfect for my work because they're all very natural, earthy, kind of soft muted colours. So I'm going to share with you the swatches that I made of these. I have a swatch book that I keep track of all my pencils in, and I'll share that page with you just to end this video. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little tour of my favourite art supplies that I've been using in 2024. I'd love to hear which are your current favourites in the comments section below, and if you have reached the end of this video, please write a comment saying, I love art supplies. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Bye for now.